What's good, family? Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. Wow. Man, honestly, you man know that I posted a video, I think about a week ago now, when Eddie Hearn came out and basically said or co-signed the fact that he believed Mr. Anthony Mandela Gandhi Johnston should or is in the process of finally leaving Rob McCrappen. And in that video, I was kind of half positive. And the reason I'm kind of prefacing what I'm about to say right now is the fact that I want you man to know that I'd love to come on here and give you man some good news. I really would. I'd love to have come on here and said 6 months ago or 3-4 months ago when Anthony Johnston lost that, oh yeah, he making some good change and he trying to make a... But unfortunately, people, that is not the case. And the video we saw today at the start of my video just confirms these sentiments, these negative sentiments. What do we know? Well, let's start off here. Number one, the first thing I noticed about this video, guess what? It's in Anthony Johnston's nice, comfy home. It's in his, what's it called? The EIS in Sheffield. So he ain't going nowhere, is he? Let's be real now, people. He in the EIS with Rob. Or some goofy trainers he's been with since day one. The very goofy trainers who got us into this position, i.e. getting his wig pushed back by random cruiserweights. Listen, Usyk never pushed no one's wig back, that's the truth. Usyk struggles to push wigs back, that's a fact, people. Until Usyk fought Anthony Johnston, Usyk was never known as a power puncher. Chisora bullied him round the ring all night. Fact. But yet Johnston on the ropes rocking and rolling. Now again, the reason I tell you that is to say that those are the trainers who used to be Africanulized in a situation where a cruiserweight is manhandling him. That's a fact. So these trainers, by the way, people, they haven't just had YB, give them a chance. They've only had 6 months. No, these men have had 10 years to kind of by osmosis or otherwise to teach him the skills he needs to learn. And what they've proven in the last in them 10 years, what they've proven is that they are inept and they don't know what needs to be done. They don't. And again, never mind his recent performances and the devolution over the last 4 years since Tony Sims left, illustrating that they don't know what they're doing. This video here is another prime example of that they don't have a clue what they're doing. So we all talk about, or I've mentioned before about how, Anthony Johnston, he's not kind of working on the inside anymore and he needs to get physical and whatever else against Usyk. And this is what they think. This is clear. Obviously, I've never seen Anthony Johnston doing any, whatever you call that. I'm not sure, honestly, I'm not sure what you'd call that. In fact, that video we saw, at the start of this video, I'd call that wrestling training. Not strength in the pocket training, not form in the pocket training. I'd call that wrestling. Actual NCAA wrestling, if that makes sense. Proper, I'm talking about actual American collegiate wrestling, or Olympics wrestling. That's what I'd call that. What are they doing? That's not the kind of strength you need. You got Anthony Johnston with his arms wide open, grabbing, and both men's arms are engaged and hugging. You're never going to be in that kind of situation in a fight. Having toe-to-toe clinch strength, or having toe-to-toe kind of, when you see watch people at Holyfield. They're able to stand toe-to-toe and they're not getting manhandled. They're able to stand toe-to-toe, arms nice and tight in, or whatever they're doing, it's all nice and tight. James Toney, another one. You don't see him doing a whole bunch of wrestling and swinging, and honestly, I'm confused. But again, this shows that they are confused. I'm actually surprised. This is supposed to be the best of boxing. Oh, we're at the EIS in UK, best of boxing, and this is what you're teaching them. And again, this for me shows that clearly they're trying to troubleshoot here. Okay, we need to work on inside fighting. Let's do. But this is their response to trying to solve the problem, people. This is it. This is what they think's going to work. And I'm telling you now, this has no application at all. It has nothing to do with boxing. I've never seen anything so shambolic in my life, honestly. And clearly, the fact that Johnston's posting it, he thinking, oh look, don't worry YB, I've got a video for you. Yeah, here it is YB, look. You know what I'm saying? Oh YB, analyse this. Tell me how good I'm doing. Wow. I'm honestly embarrassed. I'm hoping, part of me hopes that it's a spoof. Yeah, part of me hopes that, let's spoof YB. Yeah, you best be spoofing. Because if you go in there with that funny style, you're going to get your wig pushed back. That's what's going to happen. But what's going to happen is, yeah, and this is the thing, Anthony Johnston, even at the best of times, he's had a bit of a mummy kind of clinch game. And what I mean by mummy is, sometimes for example, in the Ruiz 1 fight, sometimes you saw AJ literally looking like a mummy, just kind of arms out in front of him, just kind of like a mummy, yeah. Arms out in front, kind of scrapping, just kind of desperate to try and grab onto something. Mummy style. And what this video showed was more of that. You should never, in boxing, you should never really aim to have both your arms wide open, just grabbing on. You're not in this isn't wrestling. This isn't MMA. And when you watch people like Josh Taylor, you seldomly see Josh Taylor in his heyday. Not now, it's Ben Davison, but when Josh Taylor was with Shane McGuigan, watch Josh Taylor versus Prograis for an example of this. Show me a video of Josh Taylor with his arms wide open, slung round Prograis. You don't see it. His elbows are not in tight, his chin's down, and he's holding frame. Yeah? He's holding frame, he's nuzzling in, he's pulling Prograis' arm down to find a gap and whipping shots around. That's what it is, that's where the strength is. The strength isn't in big wrestling, honestly, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that, I don't know, what is this? I'm baffled. It's an embarrassment. And at this point, I'm sorry, but Johnston needs to be knocked out. That's what I'm saying from now. He needs to be knocked out. If this is what he's doing, he needs to be knocked out. Because he still don't get it. He don't. That's why he's still with Rob. Rob got you in this situation where you got your wig pushed back by a cruiserweight. That should have been it. It should have been it after Ruiz, like I said. But you didn't want to listen. And now you're still not listening. So he ain't going to get it. Well, maybe, listen, there's a good chance he'll never get it. There's a good chance Usyk will knock him out. And listen, Usyk, if you're hearing this, don't go just to win. Go to knock this guy out, because to be fair, maybe he don't need to be knocked out. Maybe he's just too thick. At this point in time, I think he's too thick. I think he's just not smart. He tried to be smart, but he ain't smart. He just ain't getting it. Yeah? He just don't get it. No one there gets it. It's embarrassing to see that. He's got different partners and they're all just swinging left and right. I mean, show me a fight, yeah, where you've seen anything like that. In fact, that kind of stuff reminds me, have you seen, for example, the stuff I was watching there reminds me of when some of these UFC fighters do boxing and they end up just kind of, it all ends up messy and they're all kind of almost falling over because they're trying to do the wrestling thing, even though it's a boxing match. That's what it looked like. It looked like a wrestler trying to box. Is that where you are now, Johnston? Yeah? The whole point, especially when you're an explosive fighter, think of Alvarez. When do you see Alvarez clinging on for dear life? You don't. Yeah? Even in the Golovkin fight where they was relatively matched, you don't see, show me a video of Golovkin or Canelo clinging on in the first fight. You don't see it. Yeah? Because guess what? Power punchers, even when they're evenly matched, which, in my opinion, it shouldn't be, you're not evenly matched with Usyk. So why are you focusing on wrestling with... What the... You've completely missed the mark on what's required. What's required here is you need to put yourself in positions where you can double down and bet on yourself. You don't need to be clinching. You need to be in front of someone in punching range. You need to be practicing catching shots and countering, not clinching. That's no good. You can't score points hugging someone, Johnston. Do you not get... What's wrong with you? It's almost like him and his team have thought, well, you know, we don't want to get hit still, so maybe we can find a strategy where you can jab and grab like Tyson Fury did against... You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. I swear to God. They're thinking, oh, well, you know, we still don't want to get stuck in, so maybe we can do a strategy like Fury did against Vlad in this jab and grab style. because Usyk's still a few inches smaller. Honestly, that's what I think happened in here, people. I hate to break it to you, because I can't work out no other circumstance here where a man who's got the power advantage, who has the combination advantage, needs to be clinging on for dear life. Explain it to me, please. It's almost like they're trying to pick up where they left off in the 12th round. Well, we was on the rope, so maybe if we can cling on a bit more for dear life, maybe if our clinch strength's stronger, we can just hang on to him instead, rather than getting knocked out. It's embarrassing, people. Show me a video of Mike Tyson training how to clinch, or how to cling on for someone for dear life. No, he's too busy working on, I've told you before, hammers focus on hammering. What's Johnston doing? Johnston's focusing on clinging on for dear life. That's his mindset, people. He ain't no killer. He should be thinking, you know what, let me train to put myself in positions where I'm going to knock someone's head off. Oh, no. Instead, we're going to train to be clinging on for dear life. That's what that was. I don't care what no one says. Now, I'm not saying that... tell a lie. I was about to say, I'm not saying you shouldn't drill clinches. It's not a bad skill to have, but... what can I say? It's not a good look, in my opinion. Of all the things you may want to be drilling right now, bear in mind, we've got a limited amount of time here. The clinch is the last of Johnston's problems. He wants to be working on nuzzling in with his elbow. Because the problem is here, people, when you do the full huggy thing, where you're just wrapping your arms around someone, you can't score no points there. There's no points to be had there. There's no damage to be had. The whole point of toe-to-toe boxing is keeping yourself safe whilst in a position to get shots off. That's why you see Josh Taylor, arms tucked in, he looking, he catching, he parrying. That's what the best fighters do. Alvarez the same. You don't see Alvarez clinging on. In fact, I can't remember the last time I've seen Alvarez actually initiate a clinch. He coming forward, got the high guard up, he parrying straight shots, he catching hooks, and he marching forward, he stepping forward, he edging forward, and he getting big shots off. That's what you're supposed to do when you got the power advantage, people. You don't need to be worrying about no clinch. The clinch is the absolute last case, and I'm not being funny, but this shouldn't... if I was training Johnston, the clinch for this camp wouldn't even cross our minds, because guess what? If we've got to think about clinching, you might as well lose anyway. If you've got to if you've got to hang on, if your name's Anthony Johnston, aka the formerly Africanulese, if Africanulese is ever in a situation where he's got to cling on to a cruiserweight who never had no power anyway at cruiserweight, then we ain't supposed to be unified champion. And that's the facts, people. If I was training Johnston, I'd have him in a mindset where if you've got to cling on, you might as well just get knocked out, because what are we doing here? That shouldn't even... It shouldn't ever be in the realm of possibility. We're focusing on hammering. Hammers focus on hammering. Strategically, yeah? Alvarez style. We're going in there nice and tight. We're going forward. When Usyk's throwing that tippy-tappy, we're nice and tight. And it's all bouncing off the gloves and arms. And then we're coming back with big stingers in between his slappy. Because the thing is with these slappers, these slappers who throw them slappy ones, all you got, it's not easy, but if I were training Johnston, we'd be training. The minute you see that jab come out, we're just going to lever a left hook. Or, every time you see a shot, you're going to lever something. Because guess what? If we have to take one to give one, so be it. This camp will be known as take one to give one. But we're going to make sure the one we give is much more devastating than them tippy-tappy ones. I'm not being funny. Even though Johnston obviously lost, Usyk, even with Johnston going half effort, or 10% effort, Usyk was touched all over. Yeah, he was Me Too'd half. It wasn't fully Me Too, but he was half Me Too'd, with no level of ferocity. So this whole clinch game, and look at AJ's stance there. His backside's hanging out the back, and he's just proper. This look desperate, man. And this is what they're teaching at the EIS. You should never, I'm telling you this now, as a fighter, you should never endeavour. Because I'm not being funny. I half gave him credit a minute ago, saying, well, maybe it is good to drill clinches. This wasn't a clinch, though. A clinch is supposed to be a subtle movement, and in fact, the annoying thing is, I'm not sure if I put the video out, but a few months ago, yeah, I'm pretty sure I put a video out of Anthony Joshua boxing Takam, and Anthony Joshua back in a Takam fight, he did something that was very subtle. He kind of caressed. He was toe to toe with Takam. He caressed Takam's waist with his glove. He was almost fainting a clinch. So when he caressed Takam's hip with a glove, it made Takam believe, okay, he's going into clinch now. And that allowed Takam to kind of drop his guard, at which point AJ pulled his arm back, disengaging the clinch, and then went to counter. That's the kind of, that fight, with that kind of skill was the Tony Sims kind of skill, I'm guessing. Even though Tony Sims keeps sucking off Rob McCracken, but whatever. That's why I don't really rate Tony Sims, he's another shill. But either way, that skill came from somewhere. Yeah, clinches, when you're a power puncher, clinches, they only need to be subtle. Enough to break your opponent's rhythm or whatever. You don't need to be training to cling on to someone. And when you look at the great fighters, you don't really... When I say great fighters, I mean really great fighters, not the jab and grab ones, like Klitschko. And that's what I'm saying. We know AJ sucks Klitschko off 24/7. I think that's what he's doing. I honestly think he's going to jab and grab. Unfortunately, people, because, like I said, AJ himself in the past, he's known in the past how to offensively clinch. How to do enough to get by almost. How to keep it refined. But that there, AJ was more or less locking his arms. He was literally locking his hands, interlocking his fingers behind the man, just locking it in. It's literally clinging on. So what the fuck? It's mad. I can't understand what perspective him and his training team are coming from. Okay, well, let's train for this then. Because like I said, there's training, there's repetition, and then there's bad repetition. They weren't training good clinching skills. As an offensive fighter, you want to clinch to be able to follow up with something afterwards. Or you want to feint a clinch. Or fake a clinch. Half clinch and then back into your guard and get a combination off. I'm telling you, Johnston's done it before in his past. He's done it. And that's what for me makes this so shocking. And I said to you lot a few days ago that I think he's been cloned, but I'm sorry, I really do. I can't believe in the Takam fight he was doing these slick things in the clinch, but then now he's doing it. It's like he doesn't know. It's like he's never fought before. It's like he's never been an offensive fighter before. It's really quite odd. And the fact he's put this out, listen, like I said, this best be a spoof. That's what it best be. But I'm afraid to say I just don't think it is. I think he wants to show the world, look, look at people, I'm a throwback fighter, and look what all the things I'm working on. And I'm sorry, YB, you don't know boxing. Show me. We've all seen the videos online of people training. Show me some videos of this stuff going on. And I'm not saying, I do believe that there are innovations and there are new ways that need to be brought to the sport of boxing. Is this one of them? No. And it's kind of like, well, which one of your funny style trainers have been, which one of your funny style trainers' idea was this? You can just imagine that Fernando Alonso or Jobber Clayton was like, I've got this new trick. Don't forget, people, Anthony Johnston said, Jobber Clayton, he's got this special style from the 70s, and he got this style from the Kronk in the 80s, and you know for a fact that Fernando Alonso was shilling this one. I've got this special style got this special trick, and listen, Fernando, you've had 2 years. You've had all the special tricks possible, and look where we got smoked. But anyway, bottom line for me is, people, in my opinion, in my opinion, the technique's wrong, the whole narrative's wrong, the whole mindset's wrong. This right here is a beta mindset. However, since Johnston, he doesn't want to bring the YB in for free, no win, no fee. He don't want to bring in no one who's got half an idea, because even if the YB's got 100% of the idea, there's other trainers who have got at least half the idea. He don't want to bring them in. So he's made his bed now at this point. Yeah? And honestly, yeah, I'm just done with the whole situation, truth be known. I'm done with it all. I'm done with it. Because for me, even if he was able to nick a win here, he ain't never going to be the guy I think he was supposed to be. So I'm just over it at this point. I don't want to. I'd rather this end ASAP. Because it's just played out for me now. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing you got this kind of stuff going on in this kind of camp. Why and what is it about this guy? Why can't he... It's just weird, I'm sorry. Even when you think of fighters like Lennox Lewis, this just shrieks, of desperation. Lennox Lewis knew what to do. He lost, he went to Manny Stewart. He knew, decisive moves. Johnston loses. Oh, no, my team, it's my dad, and Rob McCrappen's my dad, even though I've got a dad. Even though Rob McCrappen don't commit to me. Even though Rob McCrappen hasn't got a clue what he's doing. It's madness, man. It's truly madness. And it makes me laugh as well. A lot of people slagged off Tunde. But listen, Tunde, for all the slagging off people give him, Tunde brought in another trainer. Yeah? A proper trainer, so as it appears to be. Yard performed. Johnston, he's brought in a whole bunch of bum trainers. All he's done is devolve. That's a fact. All Johnston's done is go backwards, despite having 5 trainers, 10 trainers. Gone backwards. So Tunde ain't that stupid, is he? Because Anthony Yard had his best performance of his career. I'd rather them bring that team in, truth be known. That's what, you know what I'm saying? Because at least they've shown they can come back from a bit of an L. Johnston and his bum team, what have they proven? Nothing.